All right, well, we should be back. Let's hope we are. I got bugs left and right. All right. Let's get everything reorganized after I just had everything organized. All right, there we go. We are back. Let me change the name of this again. Jason Warren, still your leader. Just in case everybody wanted to know, my father unplugged something. Shout out to my dad, who's, I think, listening. I don't even know where he is. As we are now 27 laps into this 200-lap event here tonight. Jason Warren. No, we do not want that dash in there. I'm sorry. There we go. As Jason Warren still leading over Cameron Combs, Garrett Kinder, Clint Reist battling for the third position. Garrett Kinder, the 76, Clint Reist in the 2. Both playoff drivers battling it out. Clint Reist currently leading the points. Garrett Kinder a couple positions behind. I am not on Discord, no, but I will. Can me and you can't be on the
Hi there.
We are here trying to figure things out. 32 laps into this race. All right. I now have a push to talk on because I feel like their voices are definitely going to seep into mine, so my mic, so. Or I don't. I thought I had one set. Okay. Well, I set a push talk for my mic and it's not working, so just gonna have to deal with it, I guess.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Well, we are 34 laps now into this race and starting to get things figured out. Speaking of figured out, Jason Warren has it figured out up front. Hasn't left that spot since he took it early on in this race away from Thomas Lee. But a long way to go for him to hold on to that spot. Clint Reese, we know he's fast. A couple of playoff drivers who are fast right behind him. And Garrett Kinder has fallen all the way back to 8th, so a little bit of issues for him. Jeff Paisley, 13th. As the pace car pulls off, I now think I have some co-broadcasters with me, right? I hear both of you in real life, but not in Discord. Oh, there he is.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes. As we are back racing, Jason Warren, I need to share my screen. Jason Warren back out to the lead, keeps that over Clint Reese. They stay 1-2. Thomas Lee over Cameron Combs right now, but not for long as Cameron Combs goes to the inside, takes that third spot away, and here is Josh Oswald, who started this one in 15th. Josh.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad I could make it.
Josh not in the playoffs, but we know he's always fast, so he's still going to look to come in here and take a race win away from one of these playoff drivers. Couple of cautions here early on from Richmond Raceway, but looks like they're starting to figure it out here tonight. Side by side right now, Joe Buscemi. And we have a change for the lead, actually. Cameron Combs goes up and takes the lead away from Jason Warren. Cameron started this one in the 4th position. Speaking of big movers, Josh Oswald, he's now up to 2nd over Jason Warren. He started this race, like I said, in 15th. So he is storming. I mean, he's already stormed through the field. And now he just needs that one spot. Let's see if he's able to go up and take it. Joe Buscemi behind him as well. Joey still fighting strong in the playoffs. Yep, my voice got the Discord.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I've been able to hear you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this has been a trip. This is a good race to watch, though, right?
Yeah, Richmond's always a fun track to watch. Luckily for these drivers, it's not Talladega Superspeedway like it was going to be throughout the season. You got to push your button, Dad.
Yes, after spending a afternoon at Talladega, I can see that.
As Josh Oswald and Joe Buscemi settled into 2nd and 3rd right now. Garrett Kinder in 4th. Jason Warren falling all the way back to 5th. I think maybe he stayed out that last time around, and while these drivers took tires, and, well, he is feeling that pain as he's falling back to 5th. And now he's got Michael Swink and Charles Stevens right behind him as those two fighting their way through the field as well. Michael Swink started this one 9th. He's in 6th. And Charles Stevens started this one 12th. He is up to the 7th position there behind the 30 in that 88 Chevrolet. As, almost a little bit of contact between the two in turn 2. This is a battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th as Jason Warren moves up the track, gives the spot up to both Swink and Stevens. So Jason Warren going to fall all the way back to 7th now since the drop of the green flag on this restart. Oh, and we got a spinner on the backstretch. Jeff Paisley. Jeff Paisley spins down the backstretch. It looked like a self-spin for our 3rd caution of the night so far. And, yeah, that is just getting loose out of 2 by yourself, which can easily happen at this track. We're actually going to go on to an onboard with him just to see how that car's handling. Just hits the gas a little too hard. Still wheeling that thing to the left, and it gets loose and heavy contact to the wall. Not too heavy, but a good amount of contact, and that's gonna be hard to fix and be as up to speed as he was before that damage. So we'll see how well he's able to run after getting that fixed. Cameron Combs down pit road is not followed by Josh Oswald, it looks like. Unless oh wait, no, that's turn 1 and 2, sorry. Thomas Lee, Jason Warren, Kai Schappert, Christopher Heiner, Clint Reist, all down pit road. There you see.
That's the kind of track that I think I'd want to come down and get some tires.
So we had about
We had
about 4 or 5 cars pit there that did not pit last time. So they've now gone down and got 4 fresh Goodyear tires and are up, well, not up to speed. They are a little bit better tires than these guys who took tires last time. Yeah, if I could show you guys the setup that we hustled together, be a little surprised.
We are running off of a cell phone, a rubber band, and a squirrel over here on a wheel.
You can't forget the bubble gum.
We got bubble gum?
Yeah.
Oh,
double bubble.
Can I get a piece thrown my way? I would dearly appreciate it if I could have a piece sent my way.
Well, you're going to have to take it off the mic stand.
Okay, I get it now. I actually do have gum in my car if anybody wants to go get it. As we're getting ready to go back under green next time around, I believe, after we cross the start-finish line this time. Cameron Combs second in points, but first on track as of now. Everyone looking to have a strong race heading into the round of 8. As Josh Oswald now on that outside line. Going to be starting in second. Joe Buscemi behind our leader starting in third. And that is, I believe, Garrett Kinder on the outside of the second row, restarting in fourth. I've mentioned it before here tonight. Josh Oswald has already fought through 13 positions here tonight. as we're back racing here. Cameron Combs, the control car, gets a good enough jump to keep the lead over Josh Oswald. We'll see if he's able to maintain that through up the gears, through the speed. As Shane Pittman making a move for the 5th position over Michael Swink there in that one machine on the bottom. Makes the pass in 3 and 4, or 1 and 2, sorry, and has Joey Buscemi ahead of him in 4th. But he does have to protect. Michael Swink going to try to fight back here, and there's Jason Warren, who just pit for 4 fresh tires. He's up to 7th place right now with Clint Reist battling behind him. Going into turn 1, going to look to take that 6th position away from Michael Swink. We saw him give up this spot to Michael Swink earlier, so not too far distance from that. He's taking it back away from him as Clint Reist moves to the bottom to take a spot from Michael Swink as well. That is the 7th position. Clint Reist, reminder, started this one in 13th. So he's in a good spot in the playoff points, but he did not put himself in a good spot to start this race, but has done a really nice job here tonight early on in this race. And there goes Jason Warren at the bottom over Joe Buscemi. He is moving through the field right now, and well, I don't think they're much fresher tires, but there's at least something to it because he is making passes left and right with no difficulty at all. There's Garrett Kinder in the 76 on the outside. He is now in the 4th position if Jason Warren is able to complete this pass, and he does. Yeah, if broadcasting from here tonight wasn't a mess, we're going to be trying to race from here tomorrow night. So make sure to tune in Intensity Broadcasting to see how well or not well that goes.
Okay, this was my idea.
This was his idea and his idea only. I at first objected it, and then I was like, okay, if you can get it running, I'll do it.
Mother Nature has conspired against us to not do this tonight, and we finally got it pulled off. So I'm glad we're here. I love the series, love this league, so glad we can put it on for you, folks.
Shout out to the people who got the power back running with about 15 minutes to spare. As Josh Oswald falls back to 4th now, Clint Reist, Jason Warren both found their way around him, and now Jason Warren only has one obstacle in front of him, and that is the 15 of Cameron Combs. That is the lead position. Cameron Combs done a nice job since the restart at taking care of his tires, but also maintaining a healthy lead. But Jason Warren on those fresher tires is eating into that lead right now. It's now down to 4/10. It was just 8 about a couple laps ago. So Jason Warren, you got to believe, with no caution, he's going to have that lead in at least 5 or 10 laps. Maybe less than that, actually, 2 or 3.
And those fresh tires are really going to make a difference on that run, too.
Jason Warren loves these short tracks, too, so I'm looking for him to have a good night tonight.
Man, I got to say, I think I need to get my jacket from my car. It's getting a little chilly.
I don't know about you, but I'm burning up.
Well, you've been moving around a lot recently. Jason Warren goes to the inside, takes the lead away from Cameron Combs. And like you mentioned, Will, those fresh tires are really just absolutely dominant at a track like this. And, I mean, for good reason. You're turning your tire, you're turning that wheel a lot here. Let's go on an in-car real quick with Jason Warren just to see how much he's turning that wheel through the turns. And with how much you have to turn the wheel here and how much it eats up the tires, it's absolutely going to be necessary to have the freshest tires you can. But you got to remember, some of these guys that are falling back now took tires a couple cautions ago, and Jason Warren opted to not take tires when they did and waited, and so it's working out for him right now.
I just like tracks like this where strategy comes along to play just as much as speed. sometimes you got to do it the smart way instead of the fast way. And he's smart and fast, so that helps a lot.
One thing I'm going to do real quick because it's bothering me. We got grandstands, but no fans. There we go. We got grandstands and we got fans. Sorry about that, but thought we should get a little some grandstands out there. So Jason Warren in the lead, Clint Reese now in second on fresh tires, along with Jason Warren, and they are already over a second ahead of Cameron Combs right now. Thomas Lee in fourth, and Josh Oswald has settled into fifth. So if we take a look real quick at our two drivers that came into the race, out was Brandon Wallace and Christopher Heiner. Right now, actually Brandon Wallace isn't in the race. So it looks like we're only going to have one. Well, we'll have two drivers eliminated tonight, but one of them's not even in the race. So here's Christopher Heiner in the 24 machine. He's in the outside looking in, coming into this race, and right now he's running in the 9th position. "69 laps into this race, getting closer and closer to halfway. 30 laps out from that. Jason Warren, your race leader, now about a second over Clint Reese. Again, only about 14 drivers here tonight on this Saturday night racing here in the Saturday Night Syndicate Cup Series at Richmond Raceway. We are in the third round of the playoffs here tonight, setting up for the round of 8 at Charlotte next week, where I would hope we will be a lot more organized in the broadcast.
Jason Warren's really holding on to that lead very well.
Yeah, it's all going to be about Clint Reese and Jason Warren, how well each one of them is able to take care of their tires and who can do it better. I think that'll become apparent as we get further into this run, who was able to take care of their tires better. Jason Warren right now about a second over Clint Reese, and like I said, we'll find out in the long run if this has been him burning up his tires or if he's been able to take care of the tires as well, just while running away.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I think my son-in-law is messing with me because he said he didn't hear me. Hi, guys.
How's it going?
Let's get back to
Yeah, William Griffith looks like he's barely holding on, but he's not giving up.
Yeah, that car is mangled on the front end there. You can see it. When he made that heavy contact, I believe around lap 35 or so, to that inside wall out of turn 2. So, I mean, good on him to at least fight through it and just try to get through the rest of this race. A long way to go, though, for him to drive that car around this racetrack another 125 times or so.
And we got Charles Stephen trying to overtake Michael Slank.
That is the battle for 11th. As you see there, Charles Stevens on the inside, Michael Swink on the outside there in that 30 machine. Sorry if the paints are not updated. We do not have trading paints up right now, I don't believe, but that was the least of my worries while trying to get everything set up. But I am loading it in right now, so if paints are out of date, we will find out. And we are not there yet, but we are getting close to having to see our leader, Jason Warren, deal with some lap traffic. I believe he's about 7 seconds behind Chuck Phelps. Oh, and Clint Reese gets loose behind Jason Warren. He collects it up, though. That was very close to being a very bad night for Clint Reese. Man, and
Jason Warren's really doing a good job on hugging those turns and coming in and entering and exiting at the perfect time.
yeah, and that really helps. We've talked about the tires and managing the tires, and that helps when you're not kind of doing any unnecessary movements with your car. And when it gets tight and you don't hug that yellow line and you kind of wash up the track, that's really going to hurt those right side tires.
Yeah, Clint Reese in second is hoping for a caution. His car is out of control going through the turns. He's really on the back out of it to get through.
On board here on the tail end of Clint Reese's car. Well, he's not able to race for the lead right now. 1.9 seconds back from Jason Warren. But no company behind him. Thomas Lee in third, currently 3.5 seconds behind Clint Reese. Cameron Combs, when we saw him fall back early on the restart, has settled into fourth. And still your fifth place driver, Josh Oswald, there in the 17. And we're seeing Kai Schappert in that 60 machine. He's running that top line. We really haven't seen that from anybody.
Yeah, I don't know the last time that Clint Reese get in for tires, but it looks like when he's going in his turns, he's starting to come a little loose on the rear end.
I'm really interested to see how well this high line works for Kai Schappert. He's in sixth right now and making it work, but not sure how that's going to affect these tires as the long run goes on. We'll find out, though. We'll find out just how well that does for him. Garrett Kinder behind him in seventh right now. Joe Buscemi in eighth. Christopher Heiner ninth. And Charles Stevens Jr. rounds out the top 10. William Griffith going down to pit road. I don't know if that's him calling it for tonight or if he has to go down and get fuel and tires. We'll find out. Coming across to lap 85 right now as he pulls into his pit stall. See if the right sides go up. So, yeah, just tires and fuel for that 12 machine, and he should get back out there on track. Like I said, he could definitely just call it quits because he doesn't have a competitive car because it's damaged. And, well, he's not really going to be able to race for much, but he sticks it out. He's staying out there trying to get to the end of this race.
Michael Swink overtaking Shane Pittman on, I think, turn 2.
Let's see. Shane Pittman. Who'd you say passed him?
Overtaking Shane Pittman.
Yeah, who did?
Michael Swink.
Okay. There's Michael Swink in the 30. He made that pass, and now he's into the 11th position. He's going to try to track down Charles Stevens Jr. in 10th. There's the 88 machine. Jason Warren still out in the lead over Clint Reese, now 1.9 seconds. And he looks to lap Chuck Phelps there in the 75. Chuck Felt's going to try to fight for that lead lap, but is not able to do so. So he's going to go one lap down. He's in 14th right now. Jeff Paisley is up next to go a lap down. He is about, let's see, 4 seconds ahead of our leader right now. So he has a little bit of time in between him and Jason Warren to hopefully not go lap down. Maybe a caution come out. There's the 7 machine. We saw him spin out not too long ago as well. He's just trying to get through this race clean the rest of the way. He is in the playoffs. I'm not sure by how much. I'm going to go find out. Oh, we got a spinner on the back stretch. That's Michael Swink. Man, we just saw him about to pass Charles Stevens Jr. for 10th, or at least battle him for 10th, and he spins out on the back stretch. That is now 3 people that we've seen kind of fall fatal to the spin on the back stretch out of turn 2, and that's going to put Michael Swink not only a lap down, but all the way back to 14th. As there's Thomas Lee. That is the 3rd position.
We got Clint Reese lapping Michael Swink. Sorry, I would correct that.
Yeah,
Chuck Phelps.
When you come off of turn 2, it's it can get a little crazy because if you come off too low, your tires you have no grip there. It's like a little bump. It'll swivel. You got to get out to the wall to make turn 2 work.
Is that William Griffith again? Oh yeah, that motor's smoking. And that might just be the end of the night for that 12 machine. Tough night for William. I believe he just got knocked out of the playoffs last week. And, well, we just talked about it. Out of turn 2. And this isn't the first time he spun out of turn 2 tonight.
No. William is 22 laps down, but, you know, give him credit. He was out there working it. Going to finish the race. And that's racing with style.
Not anymore, though. That race is done.
Not anymore, but hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's time to put the old girl down.
Yeah, that motor is done for. Or at least I'd think so. I think maybe he parked it and then went away from his setup because he did take tires. As we got pit stops going on here, Jason Warren and going down pit road, and I would have to believe everyone is going to follow him down. That is on the lead lap anyways, and yep. Everybody on the lead lap pits, and then we're going to see these drivers take the wave around. One of them, the lucky dog, that was, I believe, Chuck Phelps.
Looks like the only one to not go in is Michael Swink.
I'm here.
Shane Pittman coming back out onto the track.
As we are up to lap 97 now. Jason Warren came out or went into pit road, the leader, and he comes back out the leader. Thomas Lee moves from, I believe he was 3rd, and he passed Clint Reese on pit road, so a good pit stop for him.
Hey, good old Chuck Phelps had the lead there for a moment.
Well, no, he didn't.
Chuck our spotlight driver tonight.
He was maybe the leader on track, but not the leader. He got the wave around or the lucky dog, whichever which.
Well, they were showing him as the leader. We'll
leader on track, maybe.
Yeah, leader on track.
Chuck Phelps actually just went in for a pit. I'm guessing he went in for fuel or maybe some tires.
Yeah, I mean, everybody that's allowed to pit right now should probably pit for tires because that run,
I
believe, was 45 laps or so. And
a couple of guys going, just give me a new car.
Yeah, it's honestly kind of a break for Cameron Combs and drivers who had to stay out that last time. Cameron Combs sitting in 4th right now. He was on older tires than Jason Warren and Clint Reese, so I believe Thomas Lee was as well. So they're going to be able to be on the same tires now, and we're going to see, I think, more of a race for the lead this time around.
I think Clint Reese was the closest guy to Jason Warren. He was 2 seconds back. Everybody else was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds back. So you get them all grouped up again halfway through the race. When we come across the line, we get to go racing again.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how these guys take off. I mean, it's really about how you get your foot on the throttle and get her out there.
Yeah, I mean, you still got to manage because we have 100 laps to go, and you at this point of the race, you want to go and just go as hard as you can, but it's just too long left in this race to just completely destroy your tires early on in the run, because we could go green the rest of the way 100 laps, and if you ruin your tires in the first 10 or 15, you're going to be in a bad spot for the rest of the run.
Yeah, and these cars aren't really heavy on the ass end. I mean, you're gonna swing them out if you take that turn too hard.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen already probably 4 or 5 wrecks on the backstretch out of turn 2.
Go get her, boys.
Green flag back out. Jason Warren maintains the lead. A great jump for him. Clint Reese, Thomas Lee battling for the second position right now. Clint Reese, the 2 car on the inside. Thomas Lee, the 83, or at least he's showing the 83 on my screen. 87 on your screen on the outside. Loses that spot to Cameron Combs, and Cameron was one of the people I wanted to watch because he was on older tires last time, and that's why he fell back a little bit. And like I said, he's on the same tires now as these front 2 drivers, and I think he's going to battle them a little bit more this time around.
Yeah, Cameron Combs, Clint Reese, Jason Warren, Thomas Lee. Expect some good racing here. If Jason doesn't gap them all, then we'll have some good racing for second.
Man, I think we've noted this before tonight, but Clint Reese has looked really loose through the turns, and I saw that back into that car shake a little bit through 1 and 2. So, yeah, if he's dealing with that right now, he's going to be dealing with that the rest of the race.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if he's not easing up on the throttle on those turns. I mean, you goose it too much, you're going to lose it.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen any spins out of turn 4. I know turn 2's tough, but turn 4 is just as tough on exit, and we have not seen anybody really get loose and spin out there. But now that I say it, somebody probably will.
Well, yeah.
As Jason Warren, he started this one in second, but took that lead away basically on the first start of the race. So he looks like he has the best car here tonight, but we all know that in racing, not always the best car wins the race.
Well, yeah, I say that every time I finish 20th.
I thought I was best, but I finished 20th. That's weird. Don't mind that in the background.
Somebody's trying to steal my car. I'll be right back.
There we go. All right, that's off. We knew we'd have at least some oddities when we broadcasted at a Talladega campground.
Yeah, you're missing the drunk girl karaoke.
We're here at beautiful Shady Oaks Campground in Lincoln, Alabama, where we went down to Talladega today to watch some racing. We're going to go watch some more tomorrow.
Yeah, and that one won't get rained out, so we're looking good, hopefully. I mean, there's no way I can jinx that because the radar looks perfect, but, of course, somehow, some way, we'll get rain tomorrow. Now that I've said that, Cameron Combs up to third right now, and you see in that 15 car not too far behind Clint Reese. As your top 5, Jason Warren, Clint Reese, Cameron Combs, Thomas Lee, and Josh Oswald. Garrett Kinder right behind Josh Oswald. And we've talked about it before, I believe the first round of the playoffs. In racing's different than any other sport that you watch when you talk about playoffs, because in racing you still have those people that whether they started the playoffs in or whether they got knocked out, they got knocked out the week before or were never in the playoffs, you're still going to see those guys race against the playoff drivers, and so they can shake it up even if they're not in the playoffs. And that's what we're dealing with right now. Josh Oswald, like I mentioned, started this one in 15th. He's in 5th place ahead of Garrett Kinder, who is in the playoffs, I believe in the 3rd spot coming into tonight.
Well, we still got a lot of good drivers in this league that either did not make the playoffs or got kicked out early. But you know, they're still strong drivers. They're going to be up there racing for the win. He is not. He's not in the way. He's racing. So you have to contend with that during the playoffs. I think it makes it more interesting in racing to do that.
Yeah, Garrett Kinder is really fighting for that spot in front of Josh.
Yeah, that is. For
Josh will not do anything dirty to him, but he will not give it up easy either, because he wants that spot just as bad as Garrett Kinder does.
Well, I mean, these kind of battles right here is what you watch racing for. I mean, you have Garrett Kinder and Josh Oswald, 2 guys who, if you try to pass them, they're going to fight all they can to not let you by, and obviously Garrett Kinder makes the pass, but those 2 cleanly battle everyone that races them very tough, and when you get those 2 kind of head-to-head, it's always fun to watch.
Yeah, Garrett has his eyes locked on Thomas Lee, that's for sure. He's running hot on him.
Yeah, that puts him into the top 5. Thomas Lee, you mentioned ahead of him in 4th. He's one of our non-playoff drivers having a nice race. But you see, I mean, our top 3 right now, full of that yellow that you see on the ticker. Jason Warren, Clinton Reese, Cameron Combs, showing why they are in the playoffs, running 1, 2, 3. And, well, obviously only one of them can get the win. And it's going to be fun the rest of this race to find out who has the best car. I mean, I believe it's Jason Warren. I think he's kind of proved it so far, running away from guys like Clint Reese and Cameron Combs. And we know how strong they are. Cameron Combs won 4 races on the season. So when you can pull away from someone who won 4 races over, I believe, what was it, like a 12-week schedule, or maybe a little bit more, that just shows how quick he is and just maybe how unlucky he got during the regular season.
Yeah, I know.
I don't take much to get kicked out of the playoffs. I know that I was sitting comfortably in the playoffs in the first playoff race and come down to the last lap and had a little incident and was out in the whole half a lap. So it can come and go as quick as that.
Yeah, and you get bonus points coming into the playoffs, but it still doesn't give you that much of a lead over the other drivers if you have one bad race, like you mentioned. It can either set you back in the playoffs or knock you out of them. So you can't always be perfect, but you want to be as near perfect as you can be when it comes playoff time in order to put yourself in the best position when it comes to that round of 4. But you got to make it there first. And I wanted to take a quick look at the points that we've been talking about here tonight. Christopher Heiner came in 7 points behind Jeff Paisley. Jeff sitting in that 8th and final cutoff spot for the playoffs. And currently Jeff Paisley sits in 13th and Christopher Heiner in 11th. So Christopher Heiner going to have to make his way up the field a little bit more, at least up to about 6th or 5th place if he wants to even have a chance to get to the next round. So up here, quiet for the lead. Clint Reese about 9/10 behind our leader. Not much racing going on throughout the field. Garrett Kinder behind Thomas Lee for that 4th position. So I think we'll see this battle start to get a little more interesting throughout the next 2 or 3 laps. As Garrett Kinder, as you see on the ticker there, one of our playoff drivers, trying to put his name into that top 4 and make all the top 4 playoff drivers. But Thomas Lee, I've raced with him a little bit in the truck series, and he's another one of those drivers that fights tough. He races you clean, but he's not going to give that spot up very easily. And right now, if you take a look, Thomas Lee runs that inside line on entry to the turn a little bit tighter than Garrett Kinder does. You see him entering kind of in the middle lane and then comes down on exit. He was almost able to make a pass there on Thomas Lee, or at least get to his outside, but maybe got a little loose through the center of the turn.
Yeah, Garrett's not a man to take lightly. He'll get in there and take what he wants. I mean, he's a very aggressive driver, and he does a well job at doing it too.
And it's a weird thing about Richmond that I've noticed racing here. You can make a mess up and still maintain your position. To where some other tracks, you get out of shape, you get bent out, you'll get passed by 2 or 3 cars. Something about Richmond, you can make a mistake and still get lucky enough to stay in your spot.
Yeah, and I mean, we moved this race away from Talladega into to Richmond, but I don't feel like the difficulty of the race became any less, really. It's just a different difficulty. Obviously, with Talladega, you got to rely on others, and it's a pack racing, so you know, a wreck could happen at any time, and a big one at that. And while Richmond isn't super speedway racing, it is a very tough short track, and we've seen it. You barely get loose out of 2, and it could end your night.
Something about that turn 2 coming out, that wall comes up at you really quicker than you think. Sometimes it's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, you and I broadcasted Richmond this past Monday, remember, for a different series, and we saw that turn 2 really bite some people. So, yeah, that, again, I'm still a little surprised we haven't really seen anything out of turn 4, but no surprise that we've seen a lot of wrecks out of turn 2, especially that backstretch wall. It comes up on you quick, and so you try to avoid it, crank the wheel a little bit more left while still in the gas, and that car just tends to go around.
We must have some different track conditions tonight because, yeah, like you said, turn 4, turn 2 is the wall. Turn 4 is usually a good space for a self spin, and we haven't been seeing those.
Clint Reese got a little loose there, trying to avoid that wall in the backstretch, but I mean, you didn't see it earlier because you were still setting your stuff up. But Clint Reese, he went through all the steps to wreck on the backstretch except actually hitting the wall. He got loose. The car turned left, but he somehow saved it.
Yeah,
everything I've seen out of him tonight has been almost sideways.
Yeah, that car's really floaty. I mean, I don't know if he needs new tires or if it's just, or if he's just taking the turns too hard. But he's definitely light.
Got to get that bug out of here. Sorry, I tried to throw it over your head, William. Oh, man. Yeah, we got some bugs visiting us tonight. We got a lot of lights, and it's very dark out now, so not a surprise.
Mother Nature's throwing everything at us.
Oh, Zach's throwing it at me.
Oh, well, that's my bad then.
That's his job.
Thomas Lee, he is not giving up that spot and really not even battling for it right now, so showing some speed over Garrett Kinder on this long run and maybe starting to catch Cameron Combs a little bit. We might start to see him get into one of those podium spots here very soon. And we are already to lap 135, so this is one aspect of short track racing. If you can get a lot of green flag laps together, ticking them off, you're going to get really far into that race and in short time. As it feels like we were just restarting with 100 to go, and now we're down to 65. So this thing's starting to go. I think they're good on fuel. They they pit at a halfway, and I would assume that's good for fuel. So wouldn't be surprised if they go green the rest of the way to not see one pit stop, unless maybe you're at the tail end of the field and want to take a shot at something different. So if we're racing at the end of this race with 5 to go with 95 lap old tires, that is going to create for some interesting racing, and well, that's going to make turn 2 even more difficult.
Yeah, Garrett Kinder's really making some distance between him and Josh Oswald. He's starting to pull away. I mean, he's got a good second distance on him.
Yeah, Garrett Kinder.
Did we mention tonight we are in the Hambone Productions Playoffs 150 race tonight from Richmond Raceway,
Oh,
broadcasting from Shady Oaks Campground in Lincoln, Alabama.
Garrett Kinder tagged the wall a little bit on the back stretch, but if you have to tag that wall in order not to spin out and hit the inside one, I guess I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
You do not want to hit that inside wall if you can control it, but it's this battle, or not battle, but the distance between Thomas Lee and Garrett Kinder start to become a little bit more, and the distance between Cameron Combs and Thomas Lee is minimizing. As there you see Thomas Lee getting very close here to that 15 car. And again, that's one of the aspects of playoffs racing when you have one car that's not in the playoffs is Thomas Lee, you know he wants to make that pass for third, but he's got to make it as clean as possible because you do not want to take out a playoff driver.
Yeah, talking about tagging the wall today during the race, one of the drivers kissed the wall pretty good, and he caught up in flames. That was pretty bad, but he walked away.
He did walk away, but we found out that he actually went to the hospital and was put on a ventilator to check for lung damage and had second and third degree burns. Hopefully they didn't find any lung damage and he's off that ventilator. That would be at least some good news. That's just the dangers of Talladega right there.
Yes, it is. And we were talking about Chuck Belts earlier as we were watching Thomas Lee make a move on Cameron Combs for that third position.
Yeah,
Chuck
you're
is
right.
our spotlight driver tonight. Chuck's 51 from Los Alamos, New Mexico, currently living in Butler, Pennsylvania. Drives a Chevrolet, and his favorite race car driver, Dale Jarrett. And his favorite quote, "Uncommon valor was a common virtue." I like that. He's 22 years in the military, 13 years in the U.S. Marine Corps, 9 in the Army. Talk about mixed feelings there. And he did 4 combat tours, 3 in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan. I think that's 4 too many there, Chuck, but thank you for your service. He had multiple awards and citations, including Combat U for Valor. Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck.
Clint Reese, he lost. He went down on the berm, and now he's currently in, 6th place?
Yep, 6th place behind Josh Oswald. So, yeah, we're starting to see Clint fall back a good amount.
I think it's a loose car. It's really coming back at him.
Oh.
Clint Reese was a couple inches from hitting that pit cone and getting a pit cone violation, but luckily misses it. So if they weren't good on fuel, then that's our first pit stop. Huh?
I think he's finally going in for those tires.
Points leader, right?
Yeah, points leader coming into tonight. Pretty sure he's good whatever happens with only 15 drivers signed up for tonight. We'll see. I don't think Clint would be pitting maybe unless he really had to, but I don't know did he take tires last time around? Does anybody know?
That I am unsure of.
Clint Reese?
Everybody else.
I don't think I've seen him going for tires for a while, but I'm hoping he went in on this one.
Yeah, I mean, still, even if he hadn't take tires and he was on older tires, you'd think he'd still stay out there. He was in 6th, so that maybe leads me to believe they might not be good on fuel, or at least he wasn't. Not speaking for everybody else, but he does go down pit road, and that's going to put him at least 1 lap down. Pitting under green here at Richmond, any short track, you're going to go at least 1 lap down, and he is. But if you're lucky, you won't go down 2. Jason Warren right now 3.5 seconds ahead of now 2nd place Thomas Lee. So Thomas finding some speed on this long run, and I feel like, or I think he's eaten into this lead a little bit as well.
Well, Jason's got a 3.5 second lead on him, so I think Jason might let him eat up a little bit if he wants.
Yeah, but just don't let him get to you. If you let him get to you, a lot of things can happen. So Jason Warren got to make
Yeah.
sure to at least maintain a little bit of a healthy gap. But man,
Oh,
speaking of a gap, Thomas Lee, he's already put Cameron Combs down a second and a half from him. So Thomas obviously took good care of his tires on the early part of this run.
Yeah, and Jason Warren with that 3-second lead, he can hit his points. He doesn't have to push it. If Thomas Lee is pushing it to get to him and he gets within a second and a half, 2 seconds, then Jason maybe pushes it a little bit more, but his stuff gets taken care of. Where Thomas Lee has to burn up a little bit to try to catch Jason Warren.
Jason Warren, he did lose about 0.3, but I think that was with lap traffic, as he did just pass Jeff Paisley and put him down a lap, as Jeff Paisley is in the 12th position currently, just trying to survive and make it to that round of 8 at Charlotte.
Jason Warren making a little contact with the wall coming out of that turn.
Yeah, Jason Warren, he didn't have a win until the last race of the season. He had multiple races that he could have won, but just wasn't able to lock it up. Still only that one win on the season, but with that win, it gave him not only momentum, but a kind of a better position in points going into the playoffs, and he's ridden that. Now he's in the 4th position in points. He, I believe he was in 7th in the round of 12, so he has taken that win and kind of run with the momentum into the playoffs, now into the 3rd round. And if he could lock this one up, if he could lock this one up after leading this many laps, I mean, that would definitely say something. And you mentioned it earlier, he loves these short tracks, and so it's not surprising to see him out front at a short track. But the only problem with that is, we're going to be at a 1.5-mile racetrack next week and a 2-mile racetrack in a couple of weeks. So I know he's good at those tracks as well, but when your bread and butter is short tracks and then you run NASCAR-type races, that's not always going to work out, just because NASCAR runs a lot of bigger tracks as well.
And Jason had a rough season. A lot of times being the strongest car on the track, and he just something happens. He gets bolted out. He got that win. It was very energetic for him. He's a man on a mission. He said, I am going to win this championship. He said, I'm going to go out there and take it. So if anybody else wants it, they're going to have to take it away from Jason.
I got to say, I'm enjoying listening to Bohemian Rhapsody while broadcasting racing right now. Not bad. Oh, and Jason Warren, our leader, gets loose. Oh, that's through 1 and 2. We've seen people spin out of 2, but not spin through 1 and 2. Man, that's going to hurt Jason Warren, not only in the timing, but also those tires are going to be a little more hurt now after almost spinning out. He saved it, but he's a half second ahead of Thomas Lee now, and he has burnt up those tires, saving that car through 1 and 2. We're going to see if he's able to recover or not. But, man, as the one thing you do not want to do leading in a race with 40 laps to go is make a mistake, and Jason Warren did make one, but he still has a chance to recover from it, as he did not wreck.
Yeah, Thomas Lee, he's gaining on him. I mean, he's really closing that gap up.
Yeah, he's on the same screen now that I can see, and that's unusual for Jason to have somebody behind him on the same screen. So this is going to get fun down here towards the end of this race, especially if these guys are going to have to pit. I don't know why Clint Reese pit. If they're going to have to pit, it's going to get even more interesting.
Yeah, I think with these guys pitting, as the leaders, you can stay out a little bit longer than they are, just because he was able to put a gap on between himself and Joe Buscemi enough to where he can stay out a lot longer if he needs to. But it'll be interesting to see if they have to pit or not. We've seen now 2 drivers, Clint Reese and Joe Buscemi, pit. And if we start to see a couple more, I think it's going to kind of be obvious that everyone's going to need to make a pit stop. or at least it seems so. But
And we're sitting here with 8 cars on the lead lap. At lap 164 at the line.
And the battle for the lead is about to heat up. Thomas Lee in the 83, 87 on your screen. Right behind Jason Warren there in the 32. And, man, you know, if somebody gets to you because you burn them up just racing, that's one thing. But when you burn up the tires from almost spinning out, and if they're able to make a pass on you, you're going to be beating yourself up a little bit after that, especially with how dominant Jason
And here
Warren has
comes
been.
Clint Reese with those 2 tires trying to get his lap back. That's going to make it interesting.
Yeah, I don't. If we check the timing screen, as Michael Swink goes down pit road as well. Last time around, Clint Reese ran a 22.94, while Jason Warren ran a 23.47. So not as much change there. And Thomas Lee, a pass for the lead.
Thomas Lee.
So about almost a second in between Thomas Lee and Clint Reese in terms of lap times. That last time around, yeah, around a second faster was Clint Reese. And they're running 23-second laps right now, and we got 34 laps to go. So I don't think.
I think if he's come down now, that's going to put Clint Reese in the lead.
Yeah, I mean,
if we get green flag pit stops.
Yeah, I mean, Clint Reese has been out here long enough to make up a lot of time on our leaders if it is a lap that he's making up on them. So, yeah, I think if everybody has to pit, he might come out the leader. We'll find out, though. We'll find out if they need to pit. Kai Shepard went down pit road.
That's going to leave us 8 cars on the lead lap. Clint Reese and Christopher Heiner have pit, so we've got 6 cars out there who have not pit. That's going to put Heiner and Clint. It's going to put Christopher Heiner in the lead for sure if those 6 cars do come down pit road. And it may put these leaders a lap down momentarily, but that's at least going to put them at the tail end of the lead lap. This could get interesting.
Yeah, and Christopher Heiner right now only 15 seconds back from our leaders. So
yeah,
if they can,
now Cameron Combs is making a move on Jason Warren.
If they can keep running laps that are about a second faster, man, they're gonna come up on these guys quick eventually. But you got to think eventually those tires will even out a little bit. But we're gonna find out on the long hauls. We only have 31 coming to 30 laps to go.
Thomas Lee's really opening that gap between him and Jason Warren. He's really pulling away.
Yeah, Thomas Lee, yeah, you mentioned about a second ahead of him now. And Cameron Combs, he is now to the back bumper of Jason Warren, trying to make a pass for second. So whether it's a combination of him wearing off his tires early on in the run and him almost spinning out, saving that car, or it's just him spinning out, almost spinning out and ruining those tires. Either way, those tires are not treating him well right now.
Making contact with the wall, and I bet he's just kicking himself for losing that. But, I mean, sometimes you get those turns and you can't control it.
Yeah, at this point, he's just hoping for a caution to even out the playing field again, and we've seen the speed he's had on new tires. So if he can get another caution, he'd probably be sitting pretty well. But there's no promises that we will get another caution. And Thomas Lee right now with 27 laps to go, not hoping for one.
I'm thinking Heiner, Clint Reese does not want a caution. The top 5 do.
Ooh, I think I saw Cameron Combs get a little squirrely back there, and my iRacing live timing not being very responsive. Yeah, he's falling back a little bit from Jason Warren now, so yeah, he definitely seems like he got loose on the back stretch. No surprise there. Not talking about Cameron Combs, just talking about difficulty out of turn 2 on the back stretch. And here's Garrett Kinder, and he's moved up to 4th. There's Josh Oswald in 5th behind him. Kai Shappert in that 60, he is a lap down on fresher tires. I believe he's actually multiple laps down. Yeah, he's 4. Clint Reist has passed up Christopher Heiner, and he is 9.5 seconds back from our leader, or not from our leader, from Garrett Kinder here. From our leader, Thomas Lee there. Clint Reist is 16 seconds back with 25 laps to go. And he is currently not running that much faster of lap times anymore. About, I'd say 5/10, which is, I mean, it's faster, but at this point, I don't think fast enough to get all the way around to the lead.
Yeah, sitting in Jason Warren's car, you can really see how loose it's starting to get.
Here's Clint Reist, that number 2 Exxon machine, sitting in 7th right now. And, well, this race is not only, you know, obviously the main point of this race is moving on to the next round, but you're also trying to set yourself up the best you can for that next round to be as high in the points as you can be. And so Clint Reist sitting 7th right now, leading into tonight. And while I go take a look at his points, he came in 8 points ahead of Cameron Combs. And I believe he's within 8. Yeah, he's within 8 positions of Cameron tonight. So unless Cameron gets any bonus points I don't know about, Clint Reist even finishing 7th would keep him in the lead going into the round of 8. Christopher Heiner behind him, who came into this race. Let's see how many. I believe he was 7 points behind Jeff Paisley. And, well, not running well enough right now to make up that many points on Jeff Paisley. He's currently 2 spots ahead of him. So, unfortunately for Christopher, if it ends this way, he would be booted out of the playoffs. But to make it to at least the round of 10 is something you can be proud of.
Well, I went down and tried to get some information on whether the leaders are going to have to bid again, but nobody's talking. They're all in the same channel, so I don't think they want to give it up.
Yeah, Cameron Combs is really doing his best to try to get Jason Warren on the inside.
Jason really protecting on that outside line over Cameron Combs for that 2nd position. And, well, I just mentioned, you're battling not only to make it to the next round, but set yourself up to be as high up in the points as you can be. And Jason Warren came in 4th. Cameron Combs came in 2nd in points. 9-point difference between the two. So while Jason Warren beating Cameron Combs over 1 spot here tonight won't do much for him, it'll at least earn him that extra point over Cameron going into the next round, which maybe could make the difference eventually. We'll find out. But right now, Cameron just trying to take that spot away, not even give him the choice of earning that extra point over him.
And you got Joey Buscemi up here, who's a good racer in his own right, but not in the playoffs. But
he's
on
in the
new
playoffs.
tires, is he? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's being rather patient here with these guys.
Yeah, he's definitely waiting for an opportunity to get around so he can, make up his laps.
So.
Joe Buscemi should make it through the next round. We'll see. He was 3 points over the 8th position, but coming into this race, 10 points ahead of Christopher Heiner. So even running where he's running, which is in 12th, I believe is still good enough. Yeah, he is 4 spots behind Christopher Heiner, so still good enough to make it into the next round.
Cameron Combs taking the lead from Jason Warren.
2nd place, but yeah. Thomas Lee in the lead.
Well, now that I look at it, with Brandon Wallace being out tonight and Chuck Feltz having dropped out. Or Chuck's still running.
He's in here.
A lap down.
Yep, 10th
William
place.
Griffith went down. Okay. Uh, we're looking at only cutting one of our drivers tonight. So
Well, 2 will still get knocked out. Just only one of them that's in the race tonight.
one of them here, so
Yeah.
he's already knocked.
Brandon Wallace will be knocked out, obviously. And yeah, I mean, Christopher Heiner's not having a bad race at all, but like I said, just not in a good enough position to advance himself. But a nice 8th place run for him tonight. Nothing to hang your head on. Clint
No,
Reese.
he's running fine. And if these guys have to pit, he'd be running even better.
Fireworks just scared the crap out of me. It caught me off guard a little bit. Clint Reese currently sitting in the 6th position right now. You see there that 2 machine, 14 seconds back from our leader, 4.5 seconds back from Josh Oswald. So, yeah, if this race ends right, or if this race stays green, he'll finish in that 6th position and maintain that points lead going into the next round. Thomas Lee, one of the only cars probably on track right now, thinking to himself, please no caution. 3.5 seconds ahead of 3.5 seconds ahead of Cameron Combs, 9 laps to go. All he has to worry about is his own car and maybe a lap car here or there.
I'm going to say these guys do not have to pit. So I hate to talk anybody up. I was talking Warren up, and he slipped back to 3rd. So, I mean, Thomas Lee is a good driver. All these guys are. But, you know, yeah, Thomas is sweating it. No cautions. Let's just get to the green, get to the white flag and get me home.
Yeah, now 7 laps to go as he crosses the start-finish line on the front stretch. Jeff Paisley has moved his way into the free pass position. He gets squirrely on the back stretch. He almost knocked himself out of that free pass position, getting loose on the back stretch. But that has him in 9th right now, which, well, it will send him into the next round. But unfortunately for him, in the very last cutoff spot, or the very last spot in the playoffs. And, well, we only send 4 into the next round after next week. So it's going to be even harder to advance than it was this week or last week. So, yeah, the top 4 that enter next week in the top 4 in points are going to obviously be sitting best, but anything can happen in these races.
Well, 5 laps to go in our Hambone Productions Playoff 150, and Thomas Lee with an almost 3-second lead over Cameron Combs. Wanting them to go by real quick.
Yeah, if we have a caution before the white flag, we'll have a overtime green-white checkered attempt, and I believe we at least have a couple of those. He is now 3 seconds ahead of Cameron Combs, just taking it easy. He can lose a good amount of time over Cameron Combs and still be in the lead and still be comfortable with only 3 laps to go. So, I mean, I don't blame him. Just take it easily. Do not put yourself in a predicament where you could wreck your car.
It looks like Thomas Lee tires are still doing pretty good. He looks like he's contacting the track fairly well.
He is running. He's backing off his corner. He's getting through, getting back on the gas easy, staying away from the wall. A good half a car length off the wall, not even attempting to run these laps very fast. He is just trying to make sure that he gets to the end and takes that checkered flag. Yeah, you can see how on that onboard, how well he's just backing off the corner, backing off the throttle, getting through the corner easy, and still maintaining a 2.5 second lead over Cameron Combs.
White flag is out here at Richmond Raceway. Thomas Lee through 3 and 4 for the last time for the Hambones Playoffs 150. Thomas Lee, I believe, gets his first victory of the season. And what better time, obviously not in the playoffs, but to get a victory in a playoff race as Thomas Lee wraps it up and gets the victory here at Richmond Raceway. Cameron Combs finishes second. Jason Warren holds on to that third spot.
Garrett Kinder bringing it home fourth, and Josh the Jet Oswald fifth, Clint Reese sixth, Charles Stevens seventh, Christopher Heiner eighth, Jeff Paisley a lap down in ninth, and Chuck Phelps bringing it home 10th.
Burn them down, Thomas.
He definitely earned that race. He really had a head on his shoulders at that end and didn't push it too hard. Just made sure he kept it on the track and put it where he needed it.
And ladies and gentlemen, seeing those cars running into Thomas Lee is not a sign of anger, but yet a sign of respect, especially in this league. When a guy gets a win, a lot of guys come up and let them know they're there.
Oh my!
Let them know they're happy for
he
him
knows
getting
Garrett
a win.
Kinder's there.
Especially Garrett Kinder.
Kinder made it known he was there.
Oh yeah, Garrett will definitely give you the give a good penalty for that race car.
And I think Garrett Kinder was, Josh came into Garrett, kind of getting him back for that overtake.
These guys have a lot of respect for each other. You can see how during the race they're very respectful, very clean racing, and then at the end of the race, it's like an enduro.
All right, well, wait for Thomas Lee to finish whatever he wants to do. He's still running somehow. That motor smoking very much.
Hey, that's how he made it to the victory. He didn't stop.
I'm pretty sure he's not running that car that sideways on purpose. I think that's just how it is because of the damage.
While we're waiting on Thomas Lee, I'll give another shout out to Hambone Productions for sponsoring our race tonight. Hambone has been a sponsor on several of our races over the season, and we're always glad to have them on board.
All right. Well, we're going to.
They've been very supportive, not only this league, but the Truck and Xfinity League as well. So thank you, Hambone Productions.
Going to go ahead and get Thomas in here now. Hey, Thomas, it's William, Zach, and Sam in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, bud.
Hey, man. Well, nice victory, first of all. Great race. Take us through that last run because, once we got about like 20 or 30 laps in, you took off.
I've always liked Richmond. Richmond's always been a really good track to me. Always ran well here, and knew after the beginning started looking like it was going to have some long run. Just tried to jump out there and not eat the tires up or anything and take care of them. And then when it got time to go, it was time to go.
Yeah, you did a great job getting some distance on Cameron Combs there.
Yeah, I knew once we took off from that restart, of course, Warren and Clint took off, and me and Cameron was riding right there pretty close, and he got loose a couple times getting in the corner, and I was like, well, let me go ahead and pounce on him because he'll have to let the right rear cool down before he can jump back in it again, and was able to get enough distance. Lap traffic worked out. I mean, it was, all in all, everything worked like it needed to for me to pull that off.
Well, great job of saving your equipment tonight there. In the past at Richmond, seen a lot of troubles off of turn 4. Did you have any problems up in there? I've seen turn 2 was being a little wicked tonight. How was that getting through turn 4 this evening?
Turn 4 for me, which, I mean, like I said, I'm never back in the throttle here until I'm way out of the corner, probably halfway between the corner and the front stretch before I'm all the way back in the throttle. So turn 4 wasn't bad for me. Turn 2, it was starting to get a little push there closer to the end. So I was having to really diamond that turn 1 and 2 just to be able to get it to turn and be able to get a drive off of it. But I say all in all, it worked out pretty good.
Well, it was a great race for you tonight. Congratulations on the win. You have any shout outs for us?
Just you guys for putting on the broadcast, Zach, Sam, William. Big shout out to Reaper Racing, Garrett Kinder. He painted this car for me last week, but I didn't get to run, and this is its first race out. And to put it in victory lane for Reaper Racing, just it feels really good. big shout out to Matt and everybody in the league, all the admins that do everything, and that's about it.
Well, Garrett, I think I'm up there at the end to put a little mark on his paint job. So giving you the congratulations bump. Great race for you tonight. We'll talk to you again in the future.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
All right, that was your race winner here tonight, Mr. Thomas Lee in the 83 machine. Great race from him, especially that last run. Cameron Combs, who made a late race pass to get into this second position. We're going to get him in here next. Hey, Cameron, it's Zach. Oh, nope, didn't get him in here. Where did he go?
He's still in the waiting room.
Oh, because your mouse didn't click. Oh, there we go. All right. Hey, Cameron, it's
Blame
Zach
it on
Salmon.
me.
William in the booth. Get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
How's it going, man? Hey, great race tonight. Finishing second, made a late pass there for the second position. Take us through how you set up that pass, because it obviously wasn't going to be easy.
No, Jason really didn't make it easy. It was hard. I knew he was running a little bit higher, so I figured I'd try to dive underneath him without taking both of us out. And he must have wore his tires out pretty good, and I was just a little bit faster than him, but I was so tight on an exit, it was hard to come off clean with the pass.
It was a fairly clean pass. I mean, you got in there and I got out. And, I mean, I didn't see really too much.
Yeah, we didn't hit or anything, but I was so tight coming off, I was worried I was going to come up into him.
Well, not to take anything from you, but we talk about how Jason Warren is really liking short tracks, and to outdo him and run up in second there, maybe another 10 laps, you take the lead. I was noticing about 40 laps to go, we had some front runners going into the pits, and we were wondering if you guys were going to have to go in there or not. Usually, when you have to deal with lap traffic as a front runner, it's you passing them. How was it with some of these front runners that came in that were catching up with you guys to get their lap back? How was that affecting your racing out there?
It didn't affect it too much until I was trying to pass Jason, and I had a line of cars behind me that were on fresher tires, and I felt like I was holding them up, but I also wanted to make that pass.
Yeah, I was noticing that makes it kind of a total 180 from a normal race sometimes. Well, congratulations on the second place finish. You got any shout outs for us?
I want to give a shout out to Jason and for racing me clean, and just everybody in the league. It's been an honor to race with everybody here, and hope to go out and get a championship.
Well, it's been great watching you race all season long, and good race tonight, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
All right, and finally, we'll get our third place finisher, Jason Warren, in here, and we'll get things wrapped up. Hey, Jason, it's Zach Salmon William in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh.
Hey, man, great race tonight. You bring home a third place finish. Take us through that last run and how your tires felt.
My tires were absolutely awful. I checked my tires after the race. My right front was 49. My right rear was 50. Like, it was a complete handful. It was a nightmare to drive.
It didn't appear to us on screen that you were driving it that hard for these other guys to come up and pass you the way it did. And being a fixed setup league, what do you think the difference in your tire wear versus them was, or were you driving it a little harder than we could tell on the broadcast?
I really don't know. I practiced the last few days, and I knew I was going to be off on a long run. I tinkered around with steering ratio, offset, leaned back my brake bias, backing up my corners, and I never could figure out tire wear longer than 50 lap run. of course, me nearly spinning out in that slide job all the way through 1 and 2, or whichever corner it was, whatever tire wear was left up then was completely gone. But I don't really have any excuses. Got out raced tonight. Props to Thomas and Cameron. Wicked fast on a short run. If a caution would have came out, I'd have been all right. But it is what it is. We'll try to get them next week.
Yeah, I think the only person out there who didn't want to caution was Thomas Lee, but you guys behind him were like, okay, we could use some fresh tires. Still a good race for you tonight, third place. Still rolling along in the playoffs, and I'm sure there's some more good to come. You got any shout outs for us?
Yeah, 09 Motorsports. You guys for doing a broadcast. I think you guys at Talladega right now. I had a little bit of technical difficulties, but you guys are freaking troopers, and that's freaking awesome. Uh, Big shout out to mainly Mike Iribe. No matter how I finish after each race, if I have bad luck, good luck, whatever, he always messages me and just props me up a little bit, makes me feel better. My wonderful fiance, my Fanatic CSL Elite wheel has been given out. It takes like 15 minutes for it to calibrate every time I turn it on. And she bought me an AccuForce Direct Drive, and I didn't know it. And the day I got online, I was just going to buy one. And she was like, "No, you can't do that." And I was like, "Yeah, I can." And then she had to show me where she bought it, so I ruined that surprise. So I kind of feel like I don't want to curse, not a very good person after that, I guess.
We can fill in the
We'll
blank.
give you props for that one.
But yeah, just props to Cameron, Thomas Lee, everyone in the league has a good, clean race. That's about it.
Yeah, Jason. Well, it was a joy watching, a joy broadcasting. And yeah, we're at the Shady Oaks campground in Lincoln, Alabama, and we spent the whole day at the track watching racing. And I believe this was more fun than the whole day we had. Um, Appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, you guys take
Good
it
luck.
easy.
All
All
right.
right.
That was our third place finisher here tonight, Jason Warren once again. Congrats to Thomas Lee on the victory here tonight. And Dad, I'll send it over to you for last thoughts tonight's race.
Well, um, it was my idea to do it from the campground. I'm glad we had everything we needed, and Mother Nature came through with a big thunderstorm, wiped the power out. Didn't think we were going to get in. I'm glad we managed to get in. I'm glad that I could get my son-in-law here, William Baker, who we've introduced to iRacing to join us. It's always a joy to broadcast with you and to watch these guys race every week and to race with them on Sunday nights. And I'm glad we could pull it off. It took me half a race to get into it to figure out what was going on because I was trying to play producer and broadcaster at the same time. But glad we could get it from the campground here. And if you're out here at Talladega, um, say hi to us tomorrow if you see us at the track. You don't know what we look like, but we'll be handing out original Rebels Racing League koozies. So if you see us, say hi. We'll give you a koozie.
What about you, William? Last thoughts on tonight's race?
It was a good race. I mean, it was no dull moments, I would say that. And I mean, I thought for sure Jason Warren was going to take it, but after he lost it there on the turn, he fell back. But all in all, I mean, it was a good race, and I enjoyed being here, and I hope to do it again sometime. And, I mean, I really appreciate the league. So, I mean, couldn't ask for better people.
Yeah, so going into the round of 8, Clint Reist, Cameron Combs, Garrett Kinder, Jason Warren, Michael Swink, Chuck Phelps, Joe Buscemi, and Jeff Paisley are your 8 drivers that will race for the Final 4 next week. Or we'll race to get into the Final 4. Clint Reist, 4 points over Cameron Combs. So that's going to make for some interesting battling going on next week. Garrett Kinder, 3 points ahead of Jason Warren, and very close throughout the points. So going to be a fun one next week and a little more organized, you could say. So thank you guys for sticking through tonight if you did. with all the technical difficulties we had. Appreciate it. Thank you for always tuning in to this series or any series. Make sure to tune in tomorrow night. Intensity Broadcasting will be here at Richmond in the Truck Series. Hopefully, we'll be racing. And then, and then
No
make sure to-
thunderstorms tomorrow.
Yeah. So make sure to tune in next week for more racing here in the Saturday Night Senate Cup Series at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But for tonight from Richmond Raceway, it's been Zach, Sam, and William in the booth from Rebels Racing Network. Have a good night.